Okay, it's time to do the Wednesday crossword, February 11th, and this one is by Joseph Ganji. I can see there's a fairly unique looking feature where we have the large circles in this grid, so I'm excited to see what this is going to contribute to the theme. Let's look at the bottom. This probably is what it is. 1957 rock and roll classic suggested by these puzzle circled characters. Pride month letters are LGBT. Black and white mouthful. Black and white mouthful. Probably some kind of rice sushi. What is this? One named singer with the album Melodrama. Perhaps it's Lord. I know that's a one named singer. Then what is this? Black and white mouthful is an Oreo. Yeah. Again, like I said before, these kind of very loose, non-specific ones are quite often used on very overused words. I wouldn't say overused. That's kind of a bad connotation. I would say just more common. I guess just tending to be more probable in word and just because of their common letters. Iconic bit of NPR merch is a tote. I don't think I've ever seen NPR totes, but I'm okay with that. Matchmaking site with the synagogue attendance flyer. Oh, it's J date. So this is specifically talking about for Jewish people. J date. Spews out is ejects. Takes care of. It could, yeah, I think that's ejects. And so that's mac and cheese. Takes care of, to take care of as a task is to see to a task. What is this? Great something. Let's take a look at it. Creme de la creme is probably best of all. Fave pal is your favorite pal, your BFF. Small battery is a AAA. Cousin of ink, so sort of similar word that you would use in substitution of like INC is LLC. Some limited corporation, I think. To confront is to phase. To puts icing on. Adorns, perhaps. Adorn is one of those common crossword words. I wouldn't be surprised if this was. This looks like leading to Cuban or Caribbean is Afro. So Afro-Caribbean music. Typically that's what it's called. Certain kind of genres of jazz, for instance, bossa nova. Is Afro-Brazilian, I believe. Afro-Caribbean, believe is like ska or what is it, reggae, things like that. Afro-Cuban is where you have some Afro-Cuban beats. I think samba is Afro-Cuban. Rumba, I think. Glasses sans glass. What is this? Glasses without the glass. Probably a frame. I'm not sure what this is getting at. Maybe it's not adorns. Maybe, well, because the reason why I say this, because QED part is telling us to take part of this and write it out. The one I know is quad erat demonstratum. So QED, the E stands for erat, which is, I think it means which is. Because quad erat demonstratum is what you would put at the end of a proof, being like which is what is to be proven. I suppose. I don't know. Let's just look at what this is. Oh, probably this is just the word frosts to put icing on. Prom is dance. It could be a ritual, something eel. Enrollment center. Oh, okay. This is talking about. Like as the word itself. The center of enrollment are the two L's. So let me see. What is prom? Something RIAL or a TAL? I don't know what this word is. Okay, let's see. Great ball of fire. Great balls of fire, which I haven't heard of before. But let's take a look at what the balls of fire are specifically. Actress Fanning looks like it's Elle Fanning. Elle is one of those women's names, like Elle Woods in Legally Blonde. To trap is to ensnare someone. And oh yeah, so this is what it was getting at before. Glasses without the glass parts are just the rims. Okay, a prom is what is a formal, just a formal event. Finishes with flair. Finishes with flair. Not sure what. Not sure off the top of my head. Something off, for sure. Tops off. I think that's a bit not exactly what the clue is asking for. Definition's a little bit off. Seeming eternities. So eons. You see this clued as really, really long time, ages, sort of almost hyperbolic levels of long time. Seeming eternities, you see these eternities used to include eons as well. So that's one of those sort of keywords, I guess. Big name in nail polish, I think it's OP. I don't know how it's pronounced. OPI, OPI. Replaced as a substitute. Sat in for, maybe. It could be sit. Um, I think it's to fill in for, to run in for. That's not what they say. I'll go with sat in for, and if it's wrong, I'll just keep an eye on it and check these ones next to it. Hoped for prognosis for an election incumbent. Safe seat, I imagine. Is this really just a ball of fire like this? A swampy land is a mire. So a safe seat is one that is kind of like you got it, right? Like you got the vote for that, or at least a safe seat. I think safe seat is more for representatives. So I think just one representative, an incumbent representative, would really hope for a safe seat. Let's see what this finishes with flair. This one might be caps off. Does the dishes. Does the dishes. With an S at the end, I imagine. To accumulate is to amass. Then this should be an S as well. A twisty curve is an S. Spelled out like that. Actually, one of my go-to starting words for Wordle is S's, ESSES. And I don't know, I just think it's a worthy challenge. I've recently also tried starting out with the word zizit, Z-I-Z-I-T, and I have no idea what it stands for. But, you know, sometimes I even go zizit first and then S's second and see if I can still solve it from there. You know, just make the game a bit interesting. I feel like Wordle is one of those that is often quite easy to do under 6. So, I don't know. Other people have goals like just to solve it as quick as possible. I'm just, trying to make it somewhat difficult, I guess. Priscilla Director Coppola is S something A. I don't know that. To smile broadly is to beam. Online automaton is a bot. Does the dishes. I think maybe it caters. So it's in a way doing the dishes in a separate way. The dishes in this case talking about the food, not necessarily the plate itself. What pants come in that shirts don't? They come in pairs, which is I guess interesting, but not actually like when you think about the pairs of the pants. Is a pant like how much of the pant is one pant? How much of the pants is one pant? Is the seat of the pants is it half and half? Priscilla Director Coppola is Sonia, and what is this? Oh, perhaps Sophia. Sorry, Sonia, Sophia those are common names, but I think Sophia because this looks like it says something fee. Cost required to stow furniture is a storage fee. Okay. Oh, here's another ball of fire. So I'm just kind of looking for that then, isn't it? Is that just it? Okay, sure. We'll go with that. But what makes them great balls of fire? Just because they're a bit bigger? I would have liked a bit more than that with this theme. I'm gonna see if there's something I'm missing. Worth exploring. Something rest. Worth exploring. I'll come back to it. Inducing goosebumps looks like it's scary or creepy. A complete collection is a set. So, eerie, perhaps eerie. That's one of those that shows up. Eerie induces goosebumps. Sides. Can mean a few things. Loins, shoulders, in some way like that. We don't discriminate in this workplace in job ads. I think it's perhaps this is like the abbreviation, or is it DEI? It could be DEI. This EEO is like equal employment opportunity, which I feel like this is probably the right answer here. If it's DEI, then I wonder what all of these ones are. Let me just take a look at the ones next to it. Openly resists. Rebels. That's right. Useful context. Wait, that's not rebels because this is ins. Useful context are some ins. How a German count might be started. Ein. Okay, wait. So it should be ein. Uh, then what is this? Is this rebels then? Because what is this? Useful contacts. Oh, I? Is that it? Just useful contacts, like the I is made of contacts? What is what's going on here? An arduous routine. Something here is not right. Something here is not right. I don't know if rebels is the right one. I have a feeling this might be okay. Well, I should at least use the fire balls of fire here. Does that help me with the rest here? Worth exploring. Something of interest. That's right. I was looking at this and I was confused at like where the word split was. In this case, it's over here. At first, I was like finiteist, and I didn't really understand what this was. It's of interest. So this is EEO, equal employment opportunity, and an arduous routine is a trial, perhaps. Um, openly resists. And what is this? Sides. Okay. Edges. The edges of something. Okay. So defies. So rebels, defies. Same thing, but this is okay. Useful contacts. Um, how a German count might get started with eins. Um, I guess maybe it's with plural because this is ins. Arduous routine. A grind. Yeah, it's the grind. So this is ins and eins. Uh oh, that's right because it is actually eins. Uh, what's the next word? Eins, zwei, drei, vier. I didn't know that it was spelled with an S at the end, but I believed it. I believe it. Search through is to sift through something. To get smart. To get smart. Smart could be a few things. Smart could be like smart clothes, sort of preppy. It could also mean to ache, to like throb. Or to smart is more like a sharp pain, actually. Um, wonder what else this could be. Plays at full blast is blares. I'm looking for a ball of fire here again. Um, then window, let day in, and let maybe it's life out. Then this would be another ball of fire. And to play callers is don't know what that is. To come into play. Arises. Something arises. To get smart is to sass. Okay. Oh, play callers. So people that call plays are refs? Is that true? Um they call fouls, they might call plays, who knows. Mystical stuff is arcana, sort of arcane arts, lost arts kind of things. It's for cookie, to cookie monster. It's C is for cookie. Maybe there's a song in Sesame Street about that. Newfoundland to Labrador Retriever is a dog or Labrador Retriever. They're both dog breeds, and an eightsome is an octad. So an octad is just like generic group of eight. This came up this was sort of relevant a few days ago, maybe yesterday. An octad is a generic group of eight things, and an octet is typically sort of a team or a musical band with eight members in it. So I think a tet is sort of like an et suffix is one that's used in more specific circumstances. But octad is certainly, I mean, people don't really say octad of things. I mean, octet I think is more for people, and octad is for objects. I think maybe that's the best way to say it. Rain delay coverings are tarps. They might have like like an overhang with tarped overhang to block out the light. When it says Asian pear, apple-like fruit. Yeah, right is an as if. To come clean is to fess up. Then when it says my turn to play is I'm up. Oh, for heaven's sake, perhaps this is goodness gracious. It's a fun word. It's nice that they actually had another 16 to put across here. I don't think many word lists have 16-letter words, so it's nice that they had something to put here, which is quite fun. I would have liked it to be more relevant to the theme, though. I mean, as far as I can tell, there's not really much more beyond just these little balls of fire, just these four ones over here. I would have liked to see something more. Words from someone who failed to understand is "you lost me." Something you might leave at the front door when entering a house. You might leave at the front door. Maybe an umbrella, maybe your shoes, maybe a single shoe. So this is ela, she in Sao Paulo. Seems right because L is the word for she in France, and I suppose like all these Romance languages are somewhat similar. Our song, that's right. Not share to hog the covers, right? Part of GPS is a system, so probably SYST, although I more commonly see it as just SYS. But this is okay. Belted out, you might sang. Belting out means to sing at the top of your lungs, though more specifically. Show contempt for, spit at, or sneer at, maybe. Okay, sure. Andy's partner in an old radio sitcom. Old radio sitcom. I didn't know they had radio sitcoms. Andy? Who's Andy? I don't know. Ill mannered. I know this one. This one should be rude. Superfluous. Something is unneeded. It's unnecessary. It's superfluous. Purchases for some audiophiles. Audiophiles are not the same as music lovers. They more like to collect headphones and that kind of like different thing. They're sort of just more into like sound itself rather than music. Stereos. They might purchase stereos. Okay, and this one says poet's dusk is een for evening, I suppose. I don't know what maybe it's an e apostrophe en. That's how it's supposed to be said, perhaps. A quantity could be an amount, and Lewis Carroll's the walrus. I don't know why it would be walrus. The walrus and the carpenter. I only know that walrus. Oh, okay. Apparently that's right. So, the only thing I know about walrus is that it's used in a lot of like sort of silly piece of media. I know there was a song by the Beatles called "I Am the Walrus," and I the lyrics are supposed to not make sense, right? And I think that it was John Lennon that wrote that, and I think it was on LSD when he wrote the lyrics to that. I think that was like sort of what was said, but I couldn't find any sources for that. I've always wanted to write a clue for LSD in a sort of interesting way, and the most interesting thing I could get was that it's possible, like supposedly John Lennon wrote this one song while he was high on LSD. Um, oh, perhaps maybe this maybe I never really made this connection before, but perhaps the title "I Am the Walrus" from the Beatles is an homage to Lewis Carroll's work here with the Walrus and the Carpenter, because I mean, I know Lewis Carroll has been known for writing some also just like really silly and nonsensical pieces of writing. There's this one famous poem called like the Jabberwockies, which is intentionally like nonsensical. It doesn't like none of the all the words are made up. Most of the famous words are made up, and it's just like not a real like the first verse of it is just like not real words. So perhaps he's also known for the Walrus and the Carpenter. Maybe that is where the word walrus was sort of comes from in um, the Beatles song "I Am the Walrus." Perhaps they're talking about "I am the walrus" from this the Walrus and the Carpenter. Perhaps this is also like a sort of nonsense, sort of high art kind of writing that I don't get. So it could be the case. It could be the case. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the theme just kind of speaks for itself. You know, you have these sort of little circles of fire. I think something interesting. Maybe it does seem like the word like fire is rotating. So at least the F is here, and they're all going in this direction, but the F sort of starts on different positions. So you kind of almost have like a rolling ball, which is a nice touch. Um, I suppose that um, this geometry of this grid does make it somewhat difficult to fill, especially when you have these circles right next to each other. I would say this. I would have maybe liked to see a separate sort of theme related entry on the top here. Rather, we just sort of got this long phrase, which is a nice phrase. Um, but I suppose there was a lot of real estate on the top of the board for something more related to the theme. In my opinion. Um, but who am I to say this is a puzzle that made it to the New York Times? So certainly it beat out a lot of other worthy competitors as well. So uh, thank you, Joseph. He's actually quite a I remember quite a few of his uh, puzzles, and I think actually in the around month in the approximately like 1 month that I've recorded, I think this is the second time that I've solved a puzzle by him actually. So he's had two puzzles like in about like 1 month between each other, which is always an impressive feat, with just given like the few number of puzzles that are run per year. So well done. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this.